Good morning, everyone. Come on. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good. We fed you good coffee. Welcome to Google. In particular, welcome to Google Cambridge. My name is Yvette Nameth, and I am actually not from Google Cambridge. I am from our Seattle office. Just a quick hi from me, because I will be with you the next 2 days, helping figure out what's going on here. I've been with Google for about 9 years now, spanning both products in ads and maps. I'm a test engineer and a manager in the Seattle office for the Google Maps products right now. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rapidly losing my voice, so I'm going to try and keep this sweet and informational. As some of you in the audience may know, that might be a little hard for me, but I'll do my best. So first of all, let's make sure you know where things are. One of the most important things to know where it is the agenda. What are we doing over the next 2 days? When are things happening? All of the information, such as agenda, how to submit questions, how to view the recordings after GTAC is over, are available on developers.google.com/GTAC. So just go there to find the link for all questions, which, speaking of, it also contains the link to the live stream. Welcome to everyone viewing on the live stream, which is going on right now. If you're in the room with me here, remember, you might actually be on camera. We've got signs all over the place telling you that, but this is my one last reminder. The world might see you for all posterity. They're going to see me for all posterity. I'm sorry. So it is what it is. And that information is on the website. But the other interesting piece of information for those of you in the room and those of you on the live stream is that our links to Q&A are also available from that same website. So again, you go to developers.google.com/GTAC, and you can find all the information on how the link for this, our way of asking questions. For every talk, what will happen at the beginning of the talk, it will show up on this site, the same site for every talk. There will be the date, time, and name of talk, and you enter your question. At the end of the talk, assuming there's time remaining, we will take as many questions as we can. And if somebody has already asked your question, feel free to upvote it. We'll be taking the top N questions for every talk. Another logistical piece of information, because I got the exciting stuff, the really meaty stuff. Please wear your conference badge at all times. This is our way of letting physical security know that you are legit to be inside the building with us, that you are a Google guest. And this same badge is what will get you back into the building tomorrow. So without it, I'm sorry, you'll be one of the live stream participants from your hotel room, and that would be really sad. So please wear it. You will notice one particular thing about your badges. Most of you have like white string lanyards. There will be a few people around who have a black lanyard on. The black lanyard is very, very special. These are your buddies should anything not be available to you on the website or obvious from what I'm telling you today. These are all the organization committee people, and they will connect you with whatever answers you need here. There's another special colored lanyard that I'd like to call out, though, too. That is the blue lanyard, and that is all the speakers over the next 2 days. So just thank them for donating their time to speak. Of course, there's this thing called social media. Regardless of what platform you use, we'd love it if we could coordinate a hashtag, because we're like that. GTAC 2015, when you're posting on Google+, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, Instagram, any of the above. We love to see your pictures. We love to hear what things are really standing out, what new questions you have for yourself, what memorable quotes you heard the speakers say, etc. So please share those with us. Well, you're at Google, and I think everyone at this point knows that Google has a lot of free food around, and we're not going to leave you out of this. Lunch is provided on site by Google for you each day. You really don't have to go far. I think one of the stations will be just as close as breakfast was to this room, but lunch will actually be available out in the common area just outside of this room, as well as there's a common area upstairs that requires no badge to get to other than your conference badge, where there will actually be tabled seating for you to sit down. It will be different each day. There are vegetarian, omnivore, carnivore options available to you each day. So welcome to Google and enjoy the food. But we're not done there. We've got tomorrow, and we've got to recharge. So tonight, Google Recruiting has decided to help us out by sponsoring a casino night. No real money involved, funny money only. Dinner, drinks, games, poker, roulette, Texas Hold'em. Come, have fun. And again, it will be in our wonderful shared space here in Google Cambridge. Now, there are some changes that have happened over the years with GTAC. One of the biggest changes that has happened over the years is that we've started to expand. We've expanded the types of technologies that we talk about here at GTAC. We now not only talk about software testing and explicitly web testing, we talk about app testing, phone testing, testing machines, testing with robots, accessibility testing, you name it, we talk about it. But with that, we've actually increased our diversity too. And we wanted to actually explicitly recognize that this year. And one of the changes that we've made this year is actually calling out explicitly our diversity policy on the website, as well as our code of conduct, which you've seen on the website, posted around this conference space and here on the slide. I just want everyone to keep in mind this notion of inclusiveness when having lively discussions with your fellow tester comrades here at GTAC and when asking questions. And if you have any questions, feel free to bring it up. Talk about what does this actually mean? What does this imply? This is another interesting conversation we can have here at GTAC. With that being said, let's actually talk about you guys. This is a wonderfully diverse group of people in front of me, and those of you on the live stream who didn't actually get to come join us today. So we had 1,362 applications to actually attend GTAC. That's an insane number. Just look around if you're sitting in the room with me, and how many people do you actually think are here? Just a few hundred. We had approximately 200 applications for speaker submissions, from which we picked only 24 talks. And we had over 250 Googlers apply to attend, let alone the others that just showed up. There are tons of you here, and we thank you for wanting to come, for making our job so hard when we were doing speaker selection that we actually followed our own advice. We really wanted to take diversity into account this year, and rather than just looking at the diversity of talks, we took into account the way Google has been promoting the notion of unconscious bias and recognizing when unconscious bias comes into the workplace. And in this vein, we actually removed all PII, personally identifiable information, during the speaker selection process so that we could really focus on what you're talking about and make sure that we get a good breadth of technical talks covering all sorts of things. Additionally, we actually added one more thing that came out of the feedback from last year. We're Googlers. We live in this beautiful Google bubble with massage tables and food and infrastructure that some of you would drool over. But that's not necessarily representative either when we're doing selections. So for the first time, we experimented with having somebody who is not a Googler on our speaker selection committee. And we'd like to thank Vishal Arora, who is not actually here with us, but who did dial in and give feedback on the entire speaker selection process and helped us make it a better conference by pointing out where our unconscious biases, because of our day-to-day infrastructure challenges, where they were coming out in our speaker selection and even in our technical selection. So that was kind of cool. We ended up coming out with 5 academic speakers, 8 Google speakers, and the rest are everyone else, showing us as broad of a range as possible. I gave you a little snippet of where people are from up on the slide. However, let's make sure you're really awake. That welcome sounded pretty good, so I'm hopeful. So I'm going to play a little game with you. I would like anyone who traveled more than 20 hours to get to GTAC here in Cambridge to please stand up. Stand up. Thank you. I think these guys actually deserve a round of applause. No, stay standing, because you're eligible for the next two. Now, come on. Some of us traveled more than 10 hours. Stand up, please. If you traveled more than 20, you traveled more than 10. Stay up there. Okay, yes, we're getting more. Did you travel more than 5 hours? This is where I get to stand up. Did you travel more than an hour? Let's get New York City standing. Okay, if you have any neighbors sitting down, say hello to the locals. They're your tour guides for the next few days. Go make a friend. Thank you, everyone. You can sit down. With that being said, I want to tell you a little bit about what it is like to be local to Google Cambridge. This office has over 900 Googlers across 12 floors and 3 interconnected buildings. It wasn't always this way. When I first visited Google Cambridge, there were less than 50 Googlers here about 5-6 years ago, maybe more. I don't remember. It is actually the second largest office east of the Mississippi, the other one being New York City. It started out in 2003 as a small sales office, as many of our engineering offices did. And then, of course, engineers were like, we want to work there too. That's a great location. It was actually in Boston and relocated to Cambridge in 2006, and this particular site opened in 2008. I listed a bunch of the projects that exist in Google Cambridge, but with a 900-person office, we have a really good cross-section of the Google product space. Everything from internal tools to ads latency to Chrome, Google Play. ITA is one of our particularly unique projects here, etc. And you may notice, and you'll really notice if you go on one of the tours, which I'll tell you about in a second, that this office has a theme, and the entire office is themed like the T. So each building has its own color. I can't remember what color we're in right now. I think we're actually in the connector, so we're in one of the connector colors. But each building has a color, and there are like subway-like maps for getting around the buildings because they don't actually connect from floor 3 to floor 3. You may end up going from floor 3 to floor 4. So it's kind of important to look at your subway map to get around Google Cambridge. And if you actually want to see this yourself and see the amazing office space along with the green space that you may see outside the windows just outside this common area, we are offering tours both today and tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. You can sign up during breaks or lunch just outside near where you picked up your swag. And for people on the live stream, I'm sorry, look at pictures online. They're great. And we hope you can join us at whatever our next location may be. How am I doing on time, Matt? I have one other thing. I'm not supposed to talk a lot, but I can't help it. Oh, the slides didn't reload. I'm not supposed to talk a lot, but I really can't help it. I wasn't even sure I could talk about this morning. But as of 9 a.m. Eastern time today, a product I have been testing in secret for the past 2 years finally launched. It's the first time I actually got to launch a product that people didn't know about. You don't even know what it is. So as I'm standing here speaking with you, my team is having mimosas because we just actually launched offline Google Maps for mobile. Meaning now you can do searching. Yes, you're my hero, AV. You can now search for a restaurant in a location where you've downloaded your map, regardless of whether you have internet connection. So long as you have GPS, which does not require Wi-Fi or data signal, you can navigate to your route using turn-by-turn navigation in locations. So this will be rolling out to GMM on your phone, GMM Google Maps for mobile. Sometime soon. We're doing a slow rollout, but it is now out there in the wild. So that's really awesome. but guess what? I spent the past 2 weeks debugging a test that was really, really annoying. I had this test where on every emulator I ran it on every phone I ran it on, when I stepped through it, it would not reproduce the behavior. It would not allow me to select an area to download. And I was like, what in the world is going on here? I can do this on my emulators, regardless of my API level. It doesn't matter what version of Maps for Mobile I'm actually running. This is like consistent back a few versions of our dev build. What is going on here? Turns out I uncovered one of those bugs that our users probably never will, that only my automation could. Once upon a time, a developer assumed that your finger would be on the screen when you hit that particular screen where you select areas to input, and that's what triggers the, is this area valid to download? And I was using automation to trigger this, meaning that there was no interaction with the device, and every time my test was failing. I spent 2 weeks on this. That's embarrassingly long. Like, let me tell you. Although kind of funny. Like, let's be honest, the team would walk by and be like, did you get it yet? And I'd be like, seriously? Are you asking me that? Do you really want to ruin my day? But in the end, I just want to remind everyone, we're going to hear about a lot of people's successes, whether it's launching offline Google Maps or whether it's spending 2 weeks on a ridiculous edge case bug that's a huge challenge. And these come hand in hand. With every challenge, hopefully a few of those put together will result in a success. And with every success, ask the person, what challenges did you learn from along the way that helped you get here, so that we can learn from each other. So I'm just going to actually put out a challenge to you guys to say, what helped you get here? And congratulations on all your